Had a late night gym session, so a little beat. Um, don't mind me eating a little bit of peanut butter here. Uh, just need a little bit of sustenance. Okay, but we're gonna get straight into the subject. Woke politics was killing Hollywood. This is piggybacking on two previous streams. One was my stream on Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine, saying that's probably gonna be the last movie I watch for a while in Hollywood in the theaters, unless I'm overseas watching a foreign film. And my tirade against uh, black Democrats trying to shame black men into voting for Kamala. So this is going to be a combination of those two, seemingly unrelated, but there there are some connections. Okay, so for one, a lot of guys, particularly black guys, are unfollowing some of these entertainers who are out here just shilling for Kamala. Whether you're talking about the comedian D.L. Hewley, um, I seen Usher shilling for her on his Instagram, Spike Lee. I've unfollowed all of them, by the way. I'm glad I've unfollowed Spike Lee several weeks ago, but yeah, this dude is coming out here criticizing black men the same way Obama did last week for not supporting Kamala. The bitch isn't even black. So, whatever. Even if she were black, I still won't listen to her. Like Dennis Sperling has pointed out in his live stream earlier, and I'm also piggybacking on that. We're not going to listen to a bunch of tethers and divestors on whom we should be voting for. Besides, they don't chastise anyone else. They didn't chastise all those white women who voted for Trump back in 2016. If they had voted for her in mass, she would have won. But they didn't get criticized. Well, so barely so. Um, but what makes Obama or Spike Lee think they can come out and chastise black men? They are nobody's daddy. He's sitting there telling grown black men how they should vote, and then trying to tell them if they don't vote for that bitch that they're misogynist. Okay, then I'll just be misogynist. I'm not voting for her. On top of that, on top of that, calling people misogynists and stuff like that. On top of the fallacious reasoning involved with that and the condescension, what makes them think we would vote just based on skin color? They're saying, "Oh, you did it for Obama, so why not do it for her?" Yeah, and most of us regret doing that for him. He did nothing for us in that 8 years. So people, his supporters, will say, "Well, the stuff he did for everybody also helped black men." That doesn't count. He didn't do anything specifically for black people. He did for gay people when he gave them legal same-sex marriage. But Improving stuff for the general population is not something specific to Black people's needs, because some of our needs are sui generis, which means unique for you non Latin speaking folks. But to get back to Hollywood and how I'm making this connection, as we reject a lot of these woke politics, we're rejecting a lot of these movies that interject that stuff into their content. This is why the MCU has been floundering. This is why Pixar has been floundering. This is why Star Wars has been floundering. This is why Indiana Jones flopped. This is why the Willow TV series flopped. People don't want to see that. And if you are going to interject woke politics into Hollywood, into their movies and shows, at least give us some good writing. But they don't even get good writers because they only hire writers who are DEI who fit certain bills. Like Disney was already exposed several months ago when they had a guy pretending to, be an interviewer on the left, talk to one of the vice presidents of in Disney, and he said, "Yeah, we're not going to hire white male writers or producers or actors right now." He said, "That's just not what we're doing." And the guy was filming all this. He didn't realize this was getting filmed. He got exposed. He lost his position, and he took down his LinkedIn profile. The MCU has been failing horribly since 2019 after Endgame, except for a few minor blips on the screen. Everything has flailed. The ones that did do well, surprise, surprise, were not woke or as woke. Spider-Man: No Way Home, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and Deadpool and Wolverine. Those are the only ones that really did well. Most of the Disney Plus series failed. Some of them were hit or miss though, mostly misses, but the first few were pretty good, relatively speaking. Nothing that I would write home about. Um, Star Wars had been a complete flop. Other than Rogue One was great. Everything else was, and the first two seasons of The Mandalorian were great. Those were great. Everything else has been shit. Acolyte pretty much just killed the show. I mean, killed the whole IP. Um, and the Ray movie has been silently has been kind of silently shelved. Now, I think Ray will still get made just because they invested so much um, marketing into it, and Kathleen Kennedy herself, um, she I think that's her own passion project is the Ray movie, new the New Jedi Order, but it's alienated people so much. I just it might be indefinitely shelved. But as of speaking right now, the Ray movie has been pushed to the back burners, so it may still get made. I don't know. There's also supposed to be another movie made about uh, the Mandalorian Grogu. I think that movie's still getting made. And then there's a movie by James Mangold, the one who did Logan. He's supposed to do a movie on the dawn of the Jedi, of very first Jedi. I think those two projects are still moving ahead, but Ray, I think, has been shelved for right now. Nobody likes the actress is lovely, but no one likes the character of Ray Palpatine, who's supposed to be Ray Skywalker. No one likes the character. She's a Mary Sue. Um, they destroyed the legacies of the original characters in that sequel trilogy. I mean, well, particularly Luke. They kind of destroyed everything of what he was. That's why a lot of people start calling him Jake Skywalker because of an interview Mark Hamill did, where he said it had to play him as a different person than the Luke Skywalker I played back in the original trilogy. He said I played him like he was someone else, like Jake Skywalker, because it just doesn't make sense that he would be willing to murder his nephew because he saw inklings of the dark side in him, whereas he showed um, a unbridled compassion for his father, who's been literally like responsible for the deaths of billions of people. he so he can show compassion for his father, who was a just a evil man, which which is how he became a Jedi Knight. He passed the final test of showing compassion to his father, which led to his father's redemption and him fulfilling his role as the chosen one. But now 40 years later, he sees a little bit of inkling of darkness in his nephew. He just instantly tries to snuff him instead of trying to show him how to channel those emotions so he doesn't fall to the dark side. And on the MCU side, the news just came out today. They've canceled the Blade movie with Mahershala Ali. They've canceled it. Good. They went through a bunch of directors and writers. They kept hiring and firing because they couldn't get things right. At one point, they wanted to make the movie not about Blade, but about his daughter, who's a new character, by the way. She's come out. She's only she's only been around for like what the last 10 years, whereas Blade been around since the '70s. People were coming to movies to see Blade. They didn't want to see his daughter. Like that's some bullshit. So they I'm glad they canceled the movie. And when I saw the Deadpool and Wolverine movie last week, yes, I know I didn't see it until last week. um, I had a like I had a strong inkling from what Wesley Snipes said in the movie that they were going to cancel the Blade movie. He said there's only been one Blade and there's only ever going to be one Blade. So go woke, go broke. That's Hollywood. Hollywood's going to have to change because at this point you got half of the country not even coming out to see your movies anymore. And you got half the country not willing to go see your movies or watch your shows, so they have poor Nelson ratings. You got a problem on your hands. MCU has silently been getting rid of all their little woke DEI people at Marvel Studios. This has been reported by numerous folks, so you guys can fact check me on that. But Marvel Studios, to their credit, has been silently canceling a lot of stuff that was in the works, like Blade, like the sequel to I don't Eternals. I don't they've pretty much scrapped making a sequel to Eternals. They pretty much scrapped making a a sequel to Shang Chi. I think they're still going to use the character or some aspects of the character, but I don't think he's getting another solo movie. Anyway, let me get to to my man's comments here. What's up, Moonlit? He said, "Good news off topic. Miss Moon got the job. Yo, that's what's up. That's what's up." It said 100 baht a month. Hey, that's good. That's good. 100 baht a month working. I'm sorry, no, 100,000 baht a month working at Strawman, a Swiss company, as product manager for Thailand. Dental implants and dentistry products. We said I'll still email you. Cool, yeah, definitely hit me up. Definitely email me. Um, Yo, that's what's up. I know she's happy. I know she's happy. You about to get a good dinner. You getting a good dinner. 'Cause I know she's happy. FP says the only good thing about this world is being alive, and the only best thing to do is to find the truth. That's not necessarily true. Being alive is not a good thing for everyone. If that were the case, people wouldn't try to end themselves, would they? When you've reached what my professor said um, is your minimum. He said once you reach, once you can no longer reach the minimum standards of your continued existence, whatever that may be for you, life may not be bearable anymore. So that's not true. And the best thing to do is find the truth. Not necessarily. Truth does not bring truth. Truth does not necessarily bring you peace nor happiness. This is why people who have clinical depression often have something associated with called depressive realism. Depressive realism is the phenomena whereby people who suffer clinical depression normally have a more realistic outtake on the world, but it seems to be a happier person. You have to have a little bit of, you need to have a bit of self deception about your life. Whereas depressive realists, I mean, the people who are clinically depressed express this depressive realism, and these are normally people who work in cerebral fields like philosophy and mathematics and science. They often suffer more from clinical depression than people in less cerebral uh, career fields because they have to think more about things, which leads them to be more realistic about things. Um, on top of that, if you go into psychotherapy, getting insight on the origins of your problems does not necessarily help treat those problems. This is why psychodynamic therapy is not necessarily helpful. It can give you insight into the origins of your problems, but that doesn't necessarily treat them nor cure them. What is usually needed is some sort of cognitive behavioral therapy. So anyway, uh, Moonlit says who yeah, I know she's happy, bro. Moonlit says back on topic. I want Blade and a Spawn movie getting said. Well, they're two different. I don't think. Did you mean in like the same movie? Because they're in two different comic book universes. Spawn is part of Image Comics. Blade is Marvel. So I don't see them Image and Marvel doing a crossover film anytime soon. They might do a crossover a comic book because there's already been some crossovers. You had a crossover with Spawn and Batman. You had a crossover between Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And Image, um, well, IDW Comics loves doing crossovers. Uh, I guess Image will sometimes do crossovers as well because some of their stuff on Image has gone over to like DC, like all the Milestone comics. I think they no, yeah, I think Milestone was originally an imprint of under Image, or they might have been independent. I don't remember if Milestone was independent or if they were imprint under Image, but now they're under DC Comics. That's how we got people like Shock, Static Shock. in the DC universe. Oh, he says no separate movies. Okay, yeah. Well, Spawn is coming out. Spawn is going to have Jamie Foxx playing Spawn, but Todd McFarlane said this time it's going to be more of a horror movie. Like it's going to be like the the point of view is going to be from from like the people who see Spawn, like whether it's the people he's fighting or the people he saves, stuff like that. So they're going to be seeing Spawn from their point of view. It's not going to be from the it's not going to be from like a first person omniscient point of view for us to see. It's going to be more of us seeing them from the viewpoint of the people who are seeing what's going on. So they're going to see him more as this terrifying demonic character. So that might actually be good because the first movie was stupid. I'm sorry, the first movie was bad. No offense to Michael Jai White, but most of his movies suck anyway. And yeah, the first Spawn movie was horrible. This is why sometimes the comic book creator shouldn't have too much control over the movie because just because they know the character doesn't mean they know how to make a good movie. FPS says you have to go beyond what you see. Yeah, I'm not into all that psychedelic bullshit. So if you on that little psychedelic new age crap, I don't care. Like that shit is stupid. I'm a rationalist. I don't believe in that little hokey dumb shit. Eric says the only way to know the real truth is to forget everything you already know. So saying the real truth, um, I think people have a misunderstanding of truth. They think it's something metaphysical, and you have different notions of truth. Most of them have failed. You have a metaphysical concept of truth. It doesn't really work because it's hard to define that without getting semantic, which is the reason why most people now subscribe to some sort of semantic conception of truth. Whether you're talking about a deflationary, uh, the different semantic theories of truth might be like a deflationary definition of truth, the redundancy theory. Like I subscribe to the redundancy uh, theory of truth, which is a type of semantic one. But if people are really interested in that, they can read on um, Alfred Tarski's semantic theory of truth. But most people involved in logic, philosophy, epistemology subscribe to some sort of deflationary definition of truth, which is a semantic notion. We don't deal with a metaphysical notion of truth that is something out there. No. We also don't subscribe to an epistemic definition of truth, which is it's based on how you beliefs. We don't subscribe to that. We don't just we don't subscribe to some sort of relativistic theory of truth, which is just self defeating. Um, but yeah, if you guys want to know about a good working definition of truth, look up Alfred Tarski's semantic theory of truth or deflationary theories of truth or the redundancy definition of truth. But all that metaphysical truth thing, that's not what real philosophy, like most philosophers don't subscribe to any metaphysical theory of truth. Well, let me be more concise. I mean, I mean more precise. I'm sorry. Most analytic philosophers don't don't subscribe to some metaphysical notion of truth. Mona, for instance, my bad, you were talking woke politics. I just hopped in with reading title woke politics in Hollywood, but yeah, I only heard you talking those comics and the universe. Did Elon Musk offer 1 million? I think he did. I'm going to look into that myself because I'm going to try to enlist go into that whatever little sweepstakes or whatever he's did. I'm shoot if I could get that 1 million, shoot, that'd be what's up. Or hey, if you could get me involved in the Trump campaign, is it the dollar giveaway? Yeah, the $1 million giveaway. Yep, for the Trump campaign. Yeah, I haven't looked it up. I haven't looked into it yet, but I'm gonna look into it probably tomorrow. FB says you don't believe there's a one true God in the heavens. No, which one true God? There's been it has nothing to do with my fucking subject today. If you want to talk that stuff, drop it in a super chat. I'm not going to talk about metaphysics just because you're high right now. You're probably high and you want to talk some weird new age bullshit. That has nothing to do with my topic. My topic today is how woke politics is destroying Hollywood. It has nothing to do with my subject. Nothing. So if you want to talk about that, drop it in the super chat. I'm going to ignore that. The rest of the comments on that. Mona says, FB, who's to say God is in our own selves of the universe itself? Eric says, yes, I agree. Hard to define, so forget everything you know to find the real truth. I like your opinion on this fact. It is very interesting. Yeah, so for people interested in the redundancy definition of truth, which is what I subscribe to, which is a type of deflationary theory of truth. Uh, redundancy theory says, the sentence P is true if and only if P is true. That's redundant, but if you write it out, you have the sentence P in quotations, P standing for like any sort of assertion, statement, you know, proposition is true if and only if P, which is the symbol for that proposition, assertion, whatever, is true. In other words, snow is white. The sentence snow is white is true if and only if snow is white. La nage est blanc or whatever. It doesn't matter what language you translate it to. It's only going to be true if snow is white. That assertion is only true if that is a fact. Like snow, the sentence "snow is white" is true if and only if snow is white. So a sentence P is true if and only if P is true. That's it. That's all. We're done, folks. This is why I love logic. This is why I love analytic philosophy. Melissa says truth, like no, like normality, is subjective, and our own personal look and how we absorb it. So yeah, no, truth is not subjective. That's what I'm saying. The the whole the whole notion of the whole conception of truth involves the fact that there is some sort of bivalent choice between truth and falsity. We we couldn't even we couldn't even uh, get along with our day to day communication, much less arguments, evidence, data, facts, statistics, whatever. None of this would be possible unless truth was objective. Our our very brains have evolved to press to be truth evaluators. This is why we this is how we acquire knowledge. This is how we learn things. This is how we've created science and philosophy and history and math and logic, because our brains evolved to do truth evaluation. We our brains can do deductive logic as well as inductive inference inferences. And best of all, the thing that no computer can do, we can do abductive reasoning, which is an inference to the best explanation. No computer program can do that as of yet. This is the this is the AI problem. We our our minds have evolved to be truth evaluators. This is how we acquire knowledge. So truth is not subjective, it's not relative, it's not it's not metaphysical, it's not epistemic, it's not multi-valued. The truth is presupposed by the most basic law of logic, which is the principle of bivalence. The principle of bivalence states for any assertion, um, that assertion P is either true or it's false. So the very notion of truth is presupposed by the principle of bivalence, which is the most basic law of logic. You said I like how you work that. That's the philosophy and you popping up. LOL, I love it. Yeah, I mean, I told you guys I'm a philosophy nerd. But getting off that, Moon says, so woke politics, I think mostly is stemming from colleges, homeschool kids with quote unquote woke parents, single mother households, and the agenda of the Hollywood elite. Is because Hollywood and politics are intrinsically entangled. This is why we have people involved in politics that are part of Hollywood, and you have people in Hollywood that get involved in politics. And you have these people that put their political views into our TV shows and into our movies. And then when people don't accept it, they try to they try to villainize the people for not liking it. And you couldn't do that with any other product. And with no other product could you villainize the consumer for not liking the product that you made. The consumer the consumer is the one who needs to be pleased, not the other way around. The consumer does not live to to please the market. The market is supposed to satisfy the consumer. But for the last 10 years, we've seen Hollywood infusing all their little bullshit into movies and TV shows. Plus, no one wants to get lectured by people who live degenerate lives. One of the things South Park has made adamantly clear for the last 27 years they've been on air is that the creators, Trey Parker and Mike Stone, think these people are huge hypocrites because they're always trying to tell people how they should live. Meanwhile, they're a fucking bunch of degenerates who have, live their little LGBTQ lifestyle. They're all on drugs and they have orgies and freak offs. Like people like Diddy, back in 2004, he was telling people go vote, rock the vote. Like nigga, you need to take care of your personal demons before you sitting there telling people they need to go vote. Yeah, fuck him. Shake them titties when you vote, bitch, bitch. I like it how you vote, bitch. Bitch. Get your big ass in the voting booth. Booth. South Park made fun of Diddy for that too back in the day. But yeah, you got these degenerate ass entertainers who do nothing but get high, fuck everything standing, and regularly fuck each other in the ass, telling people how they should live their life, telling people how they should vote, telling people what they should believe. And they wondering why people are rejecting them. The Hollywood, the Hollywood of 80 years ago, these stars were larger than life. And part of that was because they kept a distance from their fans. They didn't sit there and try to constantly put their lifestyle on Front Street for everyone to see, to show how lavish they're living on Instagram and shit like that, or constantly on Twitter telling people what they think. No one cares. Just do your acting, throw the ball, sing your song, and shut the fuck up. Only for instance, how do you feel about Ben Shapiro? Not saying he's great, but I love he challenges university students. Diddy was lame with the vote or die BS. Yeah, that vote or die. I like it when you vote, bitch. Bitch. Shake them titties when you vote, bitch. Bitch. He said, get your big ass in the voting booth. Booth. But anyway, um, Ben Shapiro's cool. I don't agree with everything he says, but I, a lot of the funny thing is a lot of the people that have been villainized by the left. Once I start actually listening to them, they are not as evil as people think they are. Well, they're not evil at all. Let me get that straight. But I mean, the things they're saying as aren't as malevolent or maleficent as the left will make you believe. Like back in my progressive days, I was taught to believe that people like George Will and Thomas Sowell are these political charlatans. Nothing could be farther from the truth. I may not agree with everything George Will or Thomas Sowell says, but I respect them a lot. These are these are public intellectuals in the best sense of the word. There's some people on the left that I like a lot too, though, like Steven Pinker, and there's some who I think are more in the middle, more moderates, like Richard Dawkins, Peter Boghossian, um, uh, who's the genetics guy. I can't remember his name, but yeah, there's a lot of public intellectuals I like on the left, the right, and the middle. But the fact that the left will have you believe that everyone who's not on the left is evil is just it's so disingenuous. Um, Ben Shapiro, they hate him. Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk. I've listened to some of these guys, and again, I don't agree with everything they say, but a lot of the stuff they do say makes sense. Ironically, Ben Shapiro's uh, platform, The Daily Wire, now are producing their own movies and TV shows because a lot of people are tired of the bullshit that came out of the left, especially when they came out with that Snow White bullshit where she said, this time the princess isn't going to be saved by the prince. Um, and she was like, I don't even know if he's going to even be in the movie. This is Hollywood, baby. And just being completely annoying. And then, Gal Gadot plays the evil stepmom. And it's like, how is she better looking than Snow White? Who's now going to be this Latina who's not going to be saved by the prince. She's going to come into her own. And the less we say about the dwarves, the better. So the Daily Wire decided they were going to make their own version of the Snow White with uh, what's that the the, the, the Jewish chick Brett, whatever her name is. She's actually cute. I was thinking like she's not gonna be pretty. No, I looked at her, I'm like, oh, she's actually pretty. Because that's another. I think that's another misgiving. Like on the left, people on the left don't think conservative women are attractive. There's a lot of attractive conservative women. Hello, all of Latin America, like pretty much all of Latin America and Southeast Asia, pretty conservative, and probably the most beautiful women on the face of the planet. Eastern Europe as well, who tend to be people in Eastern Europe tend to be more conservative than people in West Europe. So, but yeah. So, and like I said, woke politics is destroying Hollywood because, again, you have half of the country not showing up to movie theaters anymore because they don't like what's coming out. Look at Pixar when they did that Buzz Lightyear movie. People didn't like it; was a flop. Or that Pixar movie that came out. I think I don't even know if it came out in the theaters or not, but it came out maybe just specifically on Disney Plus about some gay kid and like okay cool he's gay, but they kept talking about it throughout the whole movie, just reiterating that oh he's gay. Like so is that his whole political identity that he takes it in the ass and sucks dick? Like I don't get it. Like I don't care what consenting people do. But it's a Pixar movie. Why is this whole thing revolving about around this teenager's sexuality? It is a far cry from the great movies they put out in the past, like The Incredibles and Toy Story. And they're running out of ideas because now they got a fifth Toy Story coming out. Although maybe this one might be better than the fourth one because the fourth one was ass. They really should have stopped at part three. Part three was the perfect ending to Toy Story. They went on with part four, but part five, the story for part five, and again, it might be good. Depends basically on the execution. But Toy Story 5 is going to show how the toys are being rejected by little kids in favor of devices, which is actually what's going on right now. Any toy collector can tell you this that when you go into toy sections of Walmart, Target, um, they've brought back Toys R Us and I think Macy's. Most of the all the people you see them buy toys are men in their like late 30s to early 50s, people my generation, because they grew up in an era where toys was everything, and most kids today don't want toys. They rather have devices. So that's going to be reflected in the new Toy Story movie, where a lot of these I think toys are going to be fighting for attention, um, with these kids who rather play with their devices. You know, their smartphones, their tablets, and their video games. Mona says, "Yep, the agenda they push, like no one cares about your sexual preference or if you identify as a fucking wombat or furry. Just do you and live and let live, but don't force it." Like I said, that Pixar movie was whack. Like he was gay, good, okay, we got it. But again, they made an issue of his identity throughout the whole movie. It could have just been one little line telling his father about his his sexual orientation, and then that would have been it. But they made it the whole about that was all it was about. Like it just made the movie uncomfortable. Or Agatha all along. They made the whole thing about them being queer. And then yeah, okay, we get it. A lot of witches are queer, fine. But did you have to like keep talking about that throughout the show? Same thing with the acolyte. You had lesbian force witches. Why? Why did it have to even be a thing? Lesbian force witches? And they wonder why people are rejecting this shit. And you can only keep blaming the audience and saying that they're all toxic for so long before it just rings hollow. And that's what's happening. All the finger pointing and name calling, saying all these are just toxic men and stuff like that is ringing hollow. And at the end of the day, the shareholders don't give a fuck about whether it's toxic men or not. Not just tanking these shows. At the end of the day, the shareholders want a return on their investment, which is why Bob Iger almost got forced out last year, but he ended up getting support from surprisingly George Lucas and others to maintain his position as CEO in Disney. But as of yesterday, I think he said he will be retiring in 2026 as CEO. So again, he's leaving the position. He did that back in 2014, and then Bob Chapman stepped up. So all the problems with Disney and the MCU was blamed on Bob Chapman, even though Bob Iger was still involved with Disney. He just wasn't the CEO at the time. But Chapman was pretty much just carrying out all the stuff that Iger had already started. So we'll see if in 2026 he's finally done with Disney, and if there's not going to be another Bob in place. Sideshow Bob this time. I don't know. um, I'm only saying, and you see these new parents change their tone when toy shopping for their sons. He said, "You don't want the GI Joe, right? Or do you want this new pretty Barbie with nail polish and yada?" Well, from like the way from what I'm seeing, Moonlit, you don't even see kids in the toy section. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I've seen a few, but it's not like when we were younger. Like when we were younger, you couldn't go into a toy section without seeing kids. Like now, like I said, you're more likely going to see an adult male in the toy section than a kid because most people collecting toys are mostly middle-aged men like myself. Like you guys seen all my collections. Well, some of you have seen a lot of my collectibles, and there's still plenty more for me to buy. Got some right here. So we're the ones buying this stuff, and I mostly buy vintage toys. I don't even buy the new stuff. The only stuff I buy now are the stuff specifically made for collectors. So some of the stuff specifically made for collectors is like GI Joe Classified or Star Wars the Black Series or the Transformers Studio 86 or those Transformers Masterpiece, the Masters of the Universe Classics. Um, and I can go on and on. But all of these are made specifically for adult collectors as opposed to making them for kids. So they're more articulated, more detailed, cost way more. Um, but oh, and Marvel Legends, of course, and the Todd McFarlane, the DC multiverse stuff. So all these are made specifically for collectors. But like I said, I prefer the vintage stuff from the 80s because that's the era in which I grew up, and I'm still trying to replace all the stuff that I even lost as a kid when we left Chicago, or the stuff that the well the stuff that I never got because there's a bunch of stuff I never got that I'm now getting as opposed to the stuff that I already had. John Doe says, "Yo," but yeah, Hollywood is killing, like killing, killing the movie industry. Like I said, this is why Blade got canceled today. People didn't want that woke version of Blade they were gonna make. They were gonna make it about his daughter. Nobody wanted to see a Blade movie about his daughter. And again, like Wesley Snipes said in Deadpool and Wolverine, he's like, there's only been one. He said there's only been, because he was talking about how in the there's all these multiverse versions of everyone. So it was both an in-universe joke as well as both both an in-universe joke for the movie as well as a joke about the MCU, um, in general, saying there's only one blade in the multiverse, and also applying that there'll only be one blade in the movies as well, which is he. And he says, yeah, but the tone of voice on Tyler's is imprinting them to be part of the alphabet community without letting them figure it out on their own. Same with Disney and Pixar and all of Hollywood and most TV. Yeah, I'm not gonna let my kids watch something that's gonna normalize alternative lifestyles. Like I don't care if this sometimes shows up in movies, but it's not gonna be preached like this is the norm, as opposed to this being a part of an alternative lifestyle, which it is, because most people don't subscribe to those alternative lifestyles. They just get an outsized support in Hollywood. This normalizes it because a lot of people in Hollywood take dick up the ass. A lot of people in Hollywood take dick up the ass. A lot of people in Hollywood are a bunch of fucking junkies. A bunch of people in Hollywood do orgies and freak offs. This is why the Diddy case is going to be so salient. See, I'm bringing in a whole bunch of stuff I talked about in other streams all into this, right? That's why the Diddy thing is so scary to a lot of people and a lot of celebrities, because a lot of them have been involved in his freak offs and his parties, like Ashton Kutcher, Pink, Usher. When Diddy got arrested, Usher and Pink, I didn't even know Pink hung out with Diddy, but a lot of celebrities you would not think hung out with Diddy, hung out with Diddy, like Martha Stewart. Both Usher and Pink completely erased their Twitter postings, everything, like thousands upon thousands of posts, just completely wiped all of it out when he got arrested. And the new I'm sure you guys heard he has some new cases that came up today, including with a 13-year-old girl and some other people. Now, to be completely honest, I was talking about this with my friends at the gym. I don't believe all these victims at this point. 2 weeks ago, we had 120 victims come up, 120 victims out of nowhere, and they have a fucking Diddy hotline, so that if you want to claim that you've been wrongfully touched or treated by Diddy or people involved with him, you can call this hotline and be a part of this lawsuit. So far, they've had 120 people. I don't believe 120 of them. And the problem with this is if you have a whole bunch of people yelling, crying wolf, I don't know if people still get that. I don't know if young people still get the whole Peter crying wolf analogy. But anyway, if you have a whole bunch of people crying wolf, which is to say, making false claims, then the people who are making genuine claims of being abused and or assaulted by him, their case is going to be their cases are going to be damaged because people are going to be like, well, if all of these people are lying, what reason do we have to believe you? So all these false claims coming up are going to damage the genuine claims that where he has hurt people. And again, we got some new stuff that came up today with new victims, also minors as well. But the thing is, now they're saying that there were other celebrities involved in these in this in this essaying of these people, saying that They were brought in, and these celebrities had their way with them, and then Diddy had their way with them while the celebrities watched. We don't know who those celebrities are, but pretty sooner than later, those names are going to get released. I don't know who it is, but again, Hollywood is fucking degenerate. But they always want to preach morality to people, to the average person, who the average person is a law abiding person who's just trying to get by. But you got all these rich drug using assholes trying to tell people how to live their lives. So fuck them. Even worse, you have these producers and writers who try to project their own alternative lifestyles into their content that they make, and then try to get upset and fan bait people when they reject this stuff. Moon says there's only one blade. He said, "Oh, I'm fixing to make a name for myself today. Just remember what y'all seen here today." Gambit, yo, Channing Tatum's Gambit was so fucking funny. He really affected the Cajun accent. That was funny as hell. I, I can't even affect the Cajun. I can speak like in a fake French accent, but I can't really do the Cajun. He said Gambit is one of my favorites. So I love the outfit and the Cajun accent. I think he's gonna get a movie for that. They've been talking about it. Ryan Reynolds wants him to have a movie. Ryan Reynolds, after three successful movies, both on Fox and Marvel Studios, he has a little bit of sway. He can get it made. I think Hugh Jackson and Ryan Reynolds said they want Channing Tatum to have a movie. And if there is another Blade movie, more than likely it's going to have Wesley Snipes. Moonlit says, "Oh, all those victims are not all aimed at Diddy. Each suit file will be a separate case and fully vetted and not filed without provable evidence. And most are at celebs, but Houston law firm confirmed." Well, no, they're all revolving around Diddy, but like I said, we know now that there are other celebrities involved. I remember back when they was first talking about the investigation 6 months ago, the lawyer who hosts the channel Legal Eagle here on YouTube said that some of the other celebrities involved at the time that were noteworthy were Cuba Gooding Jr., who already has a similar SA case from the past against him, and two of Diddy's children, Christian Combs and Justin Combs. So his sons were involved as well. But this is going to get worse. This is going to get much worse. Like I said, at this point, his case has. Was I remember 6 months ago, people saying, "Oh, this case isn't that serious. It's not as bad as R. Kelly." This is worse than this case right now. This is worse than R. Kelly. Like I told people 6 months ago, people don't want to listen. They want to be hard headed. I was like, you are not going to get three mansions, not one, not two, but three of your mansions raided by the feds unless they got something big on you. Pause. um, because people kept saying, oh, it was kept talking about his L.A. mansion being raided. His Miami mansion was raided, and his Manhattan mansion was raided. All three. On top of that, they they um they asked him return. He was also made to return his U.S. passport, and they grounded his private jets. So people saying, well, he wasn't convicted of anything, so he wasn't charged with anything. Yeah, back then he wasn't, but that's because the feds are do their job better than the local and the state. No offense to you police officers out there, but yeah, the feds work at a much higher level. They don't they don't charge you until they have enough evidence that they can fuck you. No Diddy. um, so yeah, they're gonna wait and gather the evidence. That was the whole point of the raids. And on top of that, like I said, and I'm sure my police officers watching can affirm this as well, they're not going to raid you unless they already have someone on the inside that's giving them information. So they know when to come to your house, what they should expect to gather, and whom should be there when they arrive. Because they usually always have an insider when they come in to raid someone's home. And people say, "Oh, he wasn't charged with anything. Well, he's charged now. He got his as they say in the jails. He got his graduation papers. He was formally indicted. Like I said, they say that's when you get your graduation papers. He got those graduation papers. It just took them time because the feds they're gonna they're gonna cook it for a while. They're gonna let it cook. And then when it's just right, that's your ass, Mr. Postman. uh, but yet these same assholes will tell you you need to go out and vote and you need to support Kamala. You need to support your Democrats because otherwise, are you just a misogynist? And fuck Obama and everything he represents. Fuck him and his wife Michael Obama. And I don't even like Obama, but the fact they used to call him Michelle's husband, what the fuck? That bitch didn't do anything. Why are they referring to that man as Michelle's husband? What the fuck has she done? You wouldn't even know about her if it wasn't for him. And I don't even like him. But put respect on his name as a president. Call him Michelle's husband. I'll be damned. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Was she the first black president of the Harvard Law Review? Uh, was she a state senator in Illinois? Was she the U.S. senator? Was she president? Oh no, okay. Then maybe you should refer to me by my name. But yeah, fuck the Obamas. Fuck Spike Lee, who's now telling black men they need to vote. That he's now criticizing black men too for not supporting Kamala. Like fuck you, Spike Lee. Like stick to making your little weird ass movies. Like you made a few good movies. Like Malcolm X was great. Not gonna lie. School Days is a staple for anyone who wants to join a Black Greek lettered organization. School Days was like a required watching if you wanted to join a black fraternity or sorority. They told you watch School Days and buy the book The Divine Nine. For those who know, you know. Um, and he's had a few other good movies, but most of his movies were these little artsy pieces that, eh. And yes, he employed a lot of black actors throughout his career. But again, what makes that think through because of that? What does that make for him lecturing black men on how to vote and whom and for whom to vote? Fuck him. Um, Moon says and said each case will be thoroughly investigated. If it's solid, they file many times to be exposed publicly within 90 days or something. Mandalorian says there's 5 people here. Okay, but this gets played on replay, Mandalorian, so I don't care because it gets replayed. I've saved, I upload all my live streams. So thank you for calculating the number of people here. I wouldn't know what to do without you doing that. I'd be totally lost. Thank you. Uh, Mandalorian, excuse me, Mullet says they were doing pink cocaine. A woman doctor explained it. It's usually ketamine, LSD, MDMA, fentanyl, meth, methamphetamines, and heroin, and rarely even had cocaine in it. And that's what feds found in his home. Moon says exactly why listen to celebs. Kutcher doing his men don't Kutcher doing his men don't pay for sex, etc. In hiding because him and Kunis and Madison all were doing the same. I've heard Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher have actually had some marital strife because of his connection to Diddy. I don't know if that's true or not. She's a she's a sweetheart and she's beautiful, which is so funny that she plays Meg on Family Guy. She plays like this ugly woman, ugly girl on Family Guy when she's like the most beautiful thing in real life. But I can't say I don't know anything bad to say about her. And until this, I didn't even know anything bad about Ashton Kutcher, other than I never took him like seriously as like a real thespian or actor. Uh, Mullen says, notice they not talking about Epstein anymore or Maxwell, celebs and presidents and princes and all that were there too. Yeah, I mean, look, media media has a limited attention span, and they're going to concentrate on new stuff coming out. If something else comes to light about Epstein, I'm pretty sure it will grab media attention. But for right now, the attention is on Diddy because again, new stuff keeps coming out as the investigation, as more about the details of his case make it to the light. I mean, so you know, if something happens more about Epstein, we'll know. Harvey Weinstein. I don't want to defend that dude, but again, he's another degenerate. However, I don't believe all his victims either. Why are all these women coming to his fucking hotel for interviews and stuff late at night? Like at some point, you gotta take personal responsibility and say, okay, this guy wants me to come to his hotel late at night for a business interview. I don't think I'm gonna do that. But some people are willing to do anything to get into Hollywood, and they know what it is. They know what it is. So cry me a river. Like take some personal responsibility. You were doing something that you knew would lead to certain outcomes, but you were willing to do it to get to where you wanted to be. And now you're crying sour grapes about it. You could have turned down that. So I don't believe all his so-called victims were victims. I think they willingly consented. And I'm talking about Harvey Weinstein. I'm not talking about Epstein. Just to make it clear, I'm talking about two different Jewish people. Mullen says, "Diddy, the fall guy, run Clinton's hide, run Hollywood hide." Again, like I said, there's more celebrities involved with the Diddy case, so I'm just waiting for these names to come out. I think we all are. And again, these degenerates want to preach politics to people. They want to teach people you need to if you don't support LGBTQ, then you're a hateful person, you're a homophobe, you're a transphobe. Okay. Um, if you don't support feminists, you're a misogynist. Okay. if you don't if you don't appreciate your favorite your favorite characters being race swapped, then you're racist. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't want James Bond to be black. I don't want Superman to be black. I don't want my Greek gods to be black. We wouldn't make West African gods white, so why should we make Greek gods black? why would we make Egyptian people black Africans? Egyptians were not in the past nor in the present black Africans. Different part of completely different part of Africa. North Africa, north of the Sahara, are mostly made of Arabs and Berbers, Semitic people. People in the south, the sub-Saharan African people were mostly black. There are, and let me be clear, there are some black ethnic groups within North Africa, but by and large, the majority are Berbers and Arabs. And that was the case also for the Egyptians. Were they once ruled by black African people? Yes, we know of the Sudanese people who once ruled over them under the Nubian Empire. Again, that has nothing to do with the average Egyptian. The people who the people who ruled them changed hands all the time, but the common people were always the same people, whether they were ruled by the other Egyptians, whether they were ruled by Nubians, Ethiopians, Greeks, Romans, Arabs, Turks, the British. The common Egyptian person was always the same. I dated an Egyptian girl in college, and she said that her family gets highly annoyed when people claim that Egyptians are black because they're not. Um, uh, Mona says, yeah, but they're weaponizing their beliefs and the world takes the brunt of it. Yeah, because they can do it through Hollywood. Hollywood is the only way that Hollywood is the tool of the left. As on the right, their tools uh, are mostly through government. Now, yes, Hollywood has always been, more liberal. However, they then forced a lot of their more progressive life. They often didn't project their own alternative lifestyles into the content they were making. And when they did, it was in small digestible forms like Star Trek, when they gave us the first international interracial kiss on TV, or again on Star Trek when they discussed issues with like gender and race through the disguise of talking about aliens. Clever. This is why sci-fi has always been more cerebral, because they could discuss certain ideas and things going on in current events through the guise of science fiction, through aliens and lasers and things like that. So, um, oh, Mona says hi to Dundrel. Dundrel never really comments. He just says hello, everyone. Comes in here very jovial. But guys, I'm not gonna belabor this point too much unless someone else wants to make comments. Again, I didn't mean to be rude to JB, but he was trying to take the stream into a whole different direction, which was not the focus. He wanted to talk about metaphysical shit, not even metaphysical stuff. He wanted to talk about new age stuff, because it's late at night, and I suspect that he was probably high. I'm not talking about shit just because you ate a mushroom or smoked some weed. Like, I'm a very analytical person, so I'm not gonna speculate on dumb stuff and talk about truth is out there like it's some sort of tangible thing, some sort of tangible property or phenomena to which we can grasp. That's not how it works. Truth is merely a semantic property of our assertions and our thoughts. That's it's a semantic property that allows us to evaluate things and acquire knowledge. Yep, that's pretty much it. So again, back to the woke politics stuff. Like I said, I think South Park has done a great job within the past 27 years of exposing the hypocrisy of Hollywood for how they are very smug and self-righteous and and talking down to their audience on what they should believe and what is politically correct. But they themselves live degenerate lifestyles. They're drugging, they're fucking anything that moves, man, woman, beast, child, and they want to tell the average person how they should live their lives and what they should believe and what candidates they should follow. We're not having that. Not having it. Not having it. So, unless there's any more conversation on that, um, I'm about to go. And yes, I've been eating a little bit of peanut butter while we've been talking because I needed a little bit of protein, but didn't feel like making something because I just ate before I went to the gym. So, um, but do anybody have any other questions before I go? I don't see anyone in the chat, but I'm guessing that's going to fluctuate within a few minutes. But if I don't get any questions within the next few minutes, I'm going to end this here. And then for people watching this broadcast on replay, you guys can definitely leave me questions in the comment section. Again, try to make them relevant to the topic. With the exception of Agatha, if Agatha is out there, I know she has some relationship questions to ask me. Agatha, go ahead and ask me those, regardless of which stream it is, because I promised you the other day that I would answer that for you. So either ask me in the next stream or in the comments, or you can email me, or you can reach me at my socials on Instagram or Facebook. All those links are in my description. And if anybody wants to show some support for me, please give me a like and a subscribe. At the very least, that helps tremendously because the more likes, the more subscriptions I get, the more I can grow the platform and the more I can do for you guys. I can only do something so much with the tiny budget that I have that, you know, don't, I don't want to do like a billion, like a $1 billion Marvel quality project for like two people. So, um, aside from that, like I said, give me a like and a subscribe. And if feeling the anything that I'm saying either today or any of my previous content, you can sign up for a membership at starting at $2.99. And there's different levels. Um, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. The link is in the description. Uh, or I have my Cash App and Venmo open as well. Those links are also in the description. Or here while watching the video, you can send me a super thanks. And guys, the super thanks even works during the replay. Um, During a live stream, as I'm live streaming currently as I'm speaking, you can send like a super chat or a super sticker. But if you're watching this on replay, you can send me a super thanks, which can be sent at any point, um, when you're watching this, whether during live or during replay. All right. And that goes for my long form videos as well, or my YouTube shorts. I can receive super thanks on that at any time that anyone wants to send it. So if you do want to do that, I appreciate it a lot. If not, just give me a like and a subscribe. And if you're not feeling it, that's cool too. That's what's up. We all have different views. So you know, no foul done. But I appreciate it, guys. I'm gonna respond to these last few comments, and I'm out. Mula says, with Agatha, pull somebody soon to chat and Needle Lumen and everyone. Well, no. So Agatha, I don't know if you saw the comments, Mula. She was said she wanted some relationship advice. And so then the very next day when I saw her comments, I did that live stream about does anyone want relationship advice, assuming she would jump on, but she told me she was actually traveling at the time, so she couldn't respond. So I told her she can reach out to me through my socials, or she can just reach me on a live stream and ask me. Um, Moment says, "Oh, super thanks works." He said, "Continuously, that's cool. I didn't know." Yeah, you can. Yeah, so you have three different supers on your channel, Moment. So you have, so when you're actually live streaming, people can either send you a super chat, or they can send you a super sticker. Okay, but the super thanks, the third type of super, works at any time. Like it it doesn't have a super thanks doesn't have to be a sticker or doesn't have to come with any comment. Um, and they can send that anytime, whether you're live streaming, whether they're watching a replay of your live stream, or they're watching a YouTube short, or if they're watching a long form YouTube video. Like super thanks can be sent at any time. Those work anytime. He said, "Gotcha." Yeah, because I've received a few, but most of my supers have usually been doing live streams. But I've received like one or two super thanks, and I've received a few cash apps, and I received a few buy me a coffees like from Miss Flutterby. Hope Miss Flutterby's still around. Hope she's doing okay. I haven't seen her in a while. I might have to do a members only video to see if she pops up, because she almost always pops up for my members only videos. Usually because I got the t-shirt that I have the shirt off. So I don't know if I gotta do a little thirst trapping on my members only videos. That's fine. But other than that, um, and I do mean to do another members only video. I want to do one. There's two of them I planned on doing. One was going to be like on defensive tactics. We're going back to my JKD kickboxing and Muay Thai. I want to show some defensive tactics, and one I want to show people how to do a low leg Thai kick, because it's very effective and people should be able to do it of any fitness level, and it worked. They're very effective when done correctly. Like low leg Thai kicks well, you know Muay because you're in Thailand. You've seen plenty of Muay Thai fights. You can end a fight with low leg kicks. They're leg KOs, and most people who've never seen Muay Thai don't realize that they are leg KOs, but they are leg KOs. So I'm gonna do a members only video on the low leg kicks. I like the one I did do. I showed people cut kicks, but a cut kick isn't meant to be powerful. A cut kick is meant to kick to the inside of the leg, or to sweep, or like to sweep someone. They aren't powerful kicks, but the low leg Thai kick delivered usually like to the knee or the thigh, those are leg KOs when done properly. And even if you don't get KO'd, you're not gonna be walking the next day. You're not. You're not gonna be walking the next day. That's gonna hurt badly. Um, so yeah, those are my two members only videos, and then I'm also going to do a JKD kickboxing video for everyone. It won't be members only, but with that, I want it to be of a better production quality than my members. My members only stuff is like a more intimate video of like me in my room or wherever I am, just showing people stuff. But the one that I do for like the general audience, I want that to be like better. Mona says they don't let me use Cash App in Thailand. Not sure about Venmo. PayPal's what they asked me to put on YouTube. I don't have PayPal anymore because one of those little Filipina, uh, um, I don't know what you call them, but the girls on Facebook who make their money just by selling pictures and videos of themselves. I've I've friended a few of them, and I would allow them to have these guys send them money to them through my PayPal, and because of that, it got my PayPal shut down. And so I won't do that again. So I don't have PayPal anymore. So um, mostly use like other financial app platforms for like international stuff. But here in the US, yeah, Cash App is, yeah, you can't use Cash App outside of, I think, like the USA, Canada, and the UK. I think those are like the only three places you can use Cash App. Himon says, yeah, low leg kicks hurt. Yep. He said, eat the calf up too. Lose all ability to walk. LOL. Yep. Yeah, the calf kick is a different type of low leg kick. So I'm going to show people the low leg Thai kick used like aimed sort of higher to like the thigh or the knee, because the calf kick is a sort of a different, a slight different variation on the low leg kick, because there's so many different low leg kicks. You have the calf kick, you have the cut kick, you have the kick to the thigh or knee. Um, you have the switch kick. Uh, you have a low teep kick. Um, you have a knee that you deliver to the thigh, very hurtful. Um, and you have the sweep, um, the different sweeps. So all of those are different low leg kicks, but the one I'm going to specifically do like a members only video is on the one that's delivered usually to like the thigh or the knee, because it's trying to you're trying to hit that femoral artery or that nerve, that long running nerve throughout the femoral nerve that runs all the way down the leg. You target that, it's lights out. That leg will not be working anymore, no matter how much you want it to. The calf kick works a little differently, but again, it's very destructive as well. One says, I don't trust the like PayPal too. Yeah, I really don't. A lot of these financial service apps are bogus. But guys, do anyone, I see about five people in the chat, does anyone have any questions or comments or criticisms about woke politic woke politics in Hollywood destroying our movies and TV shows? Or do you completely disagree on that and you want to tell me why I'm wrong? Um, if not, forever hold your peace. But if you do, you can leave it in the comments because I'm gonna go. Moonlit, my moderator here, he's about to bounce. He said he got to get groceries, so I need to go to bed. It's past 1 o'clock here, so and I still need to stretch and shower. So uh, on to bigger and better things, guys. Talk to you later. Thank you for watching. FB, if you're still there, we can talk about spiritual stuff on another day. Hit me up. All right, guys. Take it easy. Thank you.